A friend's bad advice. The Chaudhry v. Prabhakar case. The case of Chaudhry v. Prabhakar from 1988 stands as a stark reminder that even advice given between friends can have serious legal consequences. This landmark case, decided in English courts, delves into the complexities of informal relationships and the duty of care we owe each other. It highlights how seemingly casual advice, when relied upon, can morph into a binding obligation with real-world implications. This case serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to consider the potential consequences of our words and actions, even in the most informal settings. It challenges the traditional notion that legal duties only arise from formal contracts or professional relationships. The Chaudhry v. Prabhakar case demonstrates that the law recognizes the importance of trust and responsibility even in our everyday interactions, reminding us that a friend's bad advice can sometimes land you in court. A second-hand car and a shaky trust. The story begins with a simple request for help. Miss Chaudhry, seeking to buy a used car, turned to her friend, Mr. Prabhakar, for assistance. Prabhakar, proclaiming himself knowledgeable about cars, agreed to help. Chaudhry specifically asked Prabhakar to find a car that had not been in any accidents. Trusting his judgment, Chaudhry purchased the car Prabhakar recommended. Shortly after the purchase, Chaudhry discovered the car was seriously flawed. It turned out the car had been in a previous accident and was poorly repaired, making it practically worthless. Feeling betrayed and deceived, Chaudhry decided to take legal action against her friend. Her case rested on the argument that Prabhakar, despite being an informal advisor, owed her a duty of care which he had breached. When friendship goes sour, the courtroom battle. The courtroom became the battleground for a clash between friendship and legal responsibility. Chaudhry argued that Prabhakar, despite acting as a friend, had assumed a duty of care when he agreed to help her buy a car. She claimed his advice, presented with a veneer of expertise, was ultimately negligent and misleading, leading her to suffer financial loss. Prabhakar, on the other hand, argued that their friendship negated any legal obligations. He claimed his advice was informal and well-intentioned, given without any expectation of payment or formal agreement. The court, however, saw things differently. Duty and deception. Legal principles at play. The court delved into the legal intricacies of duty of care within informal relationships. The central question was whether Prabhakar, despite acting as a friend, owed Chaudhry a legal duty to exercise reasonable care in his advice. The court ultimately decided in favor of Chaudhry. They recognized that while no formal contract existed, Prabhakar, by presenting himself as knowledgeable about cars and agreeing to help, had voluntarily assumed a duty of care towards his friend. This duty of care, the court argued, meant Prabhakar was obligated to provide reasonably sound advice and to act in Chaudhry's best interest. By failing to discover the car's history and subsequently misleading his friend, Prabhakar had breached this duty, causing Chaudhry financial harm.